Welcome to Seed to Life. I hope you're doing well and keeping safe. We saw in my last video how three different herbs, cilantro or coriander leaves, culantro or Mexican coriander, and ram or Vietnamese coriander taste similar. Today we will see how to get the best out of this tiny little seed. What do you think? How many seeds can you get from one cilantro plant? Let's find out. I started my cilantro plants in late summer last year, which was in August. Now, many of you might already know that cilantro grows well in cold and bolts very easily at high temperatures in summer. And once it starts bolting, you cannot harvest many leaves from it as the leaves get smaller and plants put all their energy in making flowers and seeds. So, tip number one to avoid bolting is you can start new plants approximately 1 month before the weather starts cooling down. That way, you can harvest fresh leaves for many months through winter till early spring. By starting them at this time, you can get bigger plants and more leaves, that too many times. Just remember to harvest the leaves before freeze every time and the plants come back. Tip 2 is if you do not get cold in your region or you want to grow it in hot climate, then you can grow it in semi-shade area or indoors. Tip 3 is to use a pot with narrow opening that preserves moisture and keeps the plant cooler in summer months. Tip 4 is to spread mulch around the plants. And tip 5 is to regularly feed cilantro plants with a layer of compost to maintain the slightly acidic level of the soil. All these things will delay bolting to some extent, or you can try using bolt resistant variety, but it is hard to prevent bolting completely. As the temperature started going down, the herb grew beautifully. I kept harvesting the leaves every couple of weeks. I thought the plants would not survive during winter, but they were very resilient. They kept growing nice foliage. We even had a week-long snow and the plants did not die in more than half a foot of snow. As the winter ended, my cilantro plants started growing cute little white flowers. The tiny hoverflies did not leave the plant alone for a minute. They and the butterflies were always there for after the nectar. It takes a couple of months for the cilantro seeds to mature fully, but all the plants were loaded with tons of flowers and glistening coriander seeds. Just pop one in your mouth and the flavor is astonishing. The leaves become very thready, almost like dill leaves, and they still are edible. In fact, I prefer such leaves over the broad leaves since I find the changed flavor during bolting much stronger. Exactly the way I like it. For garnishing, I also like to take finely chopped stems. They are also very flavorful and crunchy. I know that even the cilantro roots are used in Thai cuisine to make curry paste. Once the flowers started forming, I stopped harvesting the leaves because I wanted to get as many seeds as possible from these plants so that I don't need to buy organic seeds again for cilantro. I had total 4 plants and guess how many seeds I got? We will see it soon when we harvest. As the seeds matured, they changed color from green to brown. That is when you can finally harvest the seeds. Now there were so many seeds that it would have taken me hours to pluck them from plants. So I started cutting the branches instead. The leaves were still not completely dried and also the seeds. So I let them dry more for a few weeks inside the home. Finally, I harvested all the branches. When I brought the branches home, my kitchen was smelling like cilantro for days. That is how aromatic the freshly harvested leaves get as they dry. I had already harvested the leaves several times, but at this point decided to save some dried cilantro leaves too. The plants were more than a meter tall by now. So if cilantro plants get proper nutrition and if you plant them in the right season, you can grow very tall cilantro plants like this. Also, you can harvest the leaves many times and get a ton of seeds. Now let's see how I harvested the seeds from these plants. Step 1 is to take out the big stems and only smaller stems, because in the next step we are going to crush these thin branches between our palms to separate out the seeds. The problem in taking out cilantro seeds is that they are attached pretty strongly to the stems. If you remember the video on saving broccoli seeds or dill seeds, then you will realize how easy it was to save the seeds from those plants. Step 2 is to crush the stems so that seeds mixed with crushed leaves fall down. Now the next step is to separate the seeds from the leaves. Not a 2-minute job for sure. I had only 4 plants and it took me more than 30 minutes to take the seeds out. To separate the seeds from the dried leaves, this is what I did. Just shake the seed mix repeatedly, that brings the lightweight sticks and leaves on the top, and then just blow off the top layer. Usually this technique works for separating other seeds, but coriander seeds are also lightweight, so you may have to repeat the process multiple times to get clean seeds. In commercial setups, they have specially made conveyor belt-like equipment that makes separating easier, but we have to take a little more effort. I didn't have that much patience, but still ended up doing this multiple times and got pretty clean seeds. Some branches still had some seeds attached to them, but I used those branches as mulch in one of my containers, hoping the seeds will germinate there and give rise to new plants. Let's weigh the seeds. Remember, I had just 4 plants and I got these many seeds. The seeds weighed around 90 grams at this time. After about 3 weeks again I weighed them and weight reduced to 74 grams. It is because the water content reduced further. Even after cleaning the seeds, you still need to dry them more for another couple of weeks before storing them in closed bags or containers, otherwise they will get moldy. Can you imagine? This story began with only 4 seeds. And how much you got? At least 7 to 8 bunches of leaves and then these seeds. But that's not all. I'm going to save some of these leaves as dried coriander herb. Isn't it amazing? A big thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel, Seed to Life, and share my videos. Media links are posted in the description. See you again. Bye.